The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Jeremy Greene is alongside, and it's time for another 2022 post-Senior Bowl 7-round mock draft. And this time, it's the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons, Matty Ice ain't getting no younger. So do they go with a quarterback, or they're going to get him some more weapons? What are they going to do? They have their first pick coming up at number 8 overall.
I'm really glad the rest of the industry figured out what I already knew, that Drake London is the best receiver in this class, and it's not really all that close. 6'5", 210, straight line fast. I really don't know what the knock on him could possibly be. And with all of the uncertainty surrounding Calvin Ridley, you're stuck with Matt Ryan. No matter what you do, Matt Ryan's going to be on this roster, and he's going to cost a shit ton. Here's what people don't seem to understand. He was the 16th best quarterback in the NFL last year. So it's not like it's not like this is some albatross contract that you can't actually contend. Now with no Tom Brady, this division blows. The Panthers are bad. The Saints are really bad, and I could argue the Buccaneers are the worst of the fucking bunch.
No.
This division is absolutely up for the taking, and I don't think you take a quarterback there.
Okay.
The receiving core outside of Calvin Ridley is not real good. Russell Gage is a decent enough slot receiver. They were playing Tajay Sharp for extended snaps on the outside last year.
Helen Gage is a free agent this year, isn't he?
He is, but he'll probably be brought back.
Yeah.
He makes more sense in Atlanta than he makes anywhere else.
Well, if you want to get the most out of your aging quarterback, surround him with good weapons. He got Kyle Pitts last year, Cordero Patterson. Maybe they'll figure out a way to bring him back this year. And you add Drake London to the mix. It's a pretty good start.
The biggest knock on him is that he's played the vast majority of his snaps in the slot. Who's surprised? USC misused a really talented player. Right. I'm shocked.
Right. At number 43 overall, the first of 2 picks in the second round for the Atlanta Falcons, it's got Matt Corral from Ole Miss. So a quarterback does pop up for the Atlanta Falcons.
Because he falls right in their laps. I'm going to be really honest with you about what I see in Matt Corral. He is a poor man's Ryan Tannehill. Now, Arthur Smith got the most out of him. I don't think he has a particularly good arm. He makes some very questionable decisions. That being said, he's hyper mobile. It's going to take some time. I don't think he's a day one starter, and I don't think anybody really believes that. Not real big, 6'1", about 205. I think he's going to be fine in the NFL. He's just going to need some time. Now, the biggest thing on him is where he lands. If he lands with the Denver Broncos, you don't love that. I just don't love that. You have too good of weapons for what he does. Now, Arthur Smith has shown an ability to work with quarterbacks just like this, and I think him falling in their laps in the second round, you can be patient with him, you can develop him, and a year from now, he's the starting quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons.
Second pick in the second round for the Falcons at number 58 overall, Kingsley Enagbare.
I like this kid a lot. He's really raw, and there's a lot to like about him, but he's very, very raw. There are times his motor runs too hot, and he takes himself out of the game. He wants to sack quarterbacks every time he steps on the field. Well, they don't throw the ball on every down, so that's not the only thing you get to do.
Right.
To me, this is a kid that comes in, he's a situational pass rusher right off the jump. He's one of the best pass rushers in this class. It's really, to me, he's a really good version of a player they already have, Dante Fowler. He's just a much cheaper version, and I think he can be rounded into a better all-around player. Body frame, you couldn't build a pass rusher. There's nothing you would change.
Right.
He's 6'4", 260, built like a brick shithouse. Kind of wish he was a little bit faster. I think he's going to run in that 4.75 range, but that's kind of deceptive because he's quicker than he is straight line fast. Mm-hmm. Cone drills will be good, very good hand use. You just have to know this is not a 3-down lineman immediately. This is a kid that over time I think you can round into that, but he would look really good on the other side of Dante Fowler, and I think he would help you get more out of him.
In the third round at 74 overall, Alante Taylor, cornerback out of Tennessee.
Kid had a huge Senior Bowl week. Screaming up draft boards. I'm not even sure that he will be here. I don't tend to change my evaluations that drastically. I mean, I take what I see at the Senior Bowl. I had him in the 4th round coming into this. I bumped him up to the 3rd because he did have a very, very good week. Needs to get stronger. Is 6 foot, about $195. I think he's going to have to add about 10 good pounds to the frame. Really get stronger because he's not very good in press, not great in zone. But he can play straight up man, and he is a really good run defender for a corner. I can't tell you he has the highest grade in this draft for me, but he is one of the highest ones. Put him on the other side of A.J. Terrell, and I think you've got something there because I do think this kid can start right away, especially if he's on 2s, not 1s.
And he's got the speed for it. Projection I saw was
4.4.
Expected to be in the 4.4 range. Low 4.4s, maybe 4.4 flat.
He does a lot of things that you can't really quantify. If you just watch the play and go, well, you looked out of position, but you found a way to undercut the route. Really instinctive. He's a player I really like. Some people think he's going to be a safety in the league. I don't tend to agree with that, but he could if that's where you wanted to use him, you could absolutely do that.
In the 4th round, they have the 112 overall pick, Haskell Garrett, defensive tackle out of Ohio State.
I'm not as fond of this kid as everybody else seems to be. It's not that I don't like him. I mean, I've seen him go in the 2nd round, and to me that is borderline insane.
Mm-hmm.
He's good, 6'2", 300 pounds. He just never really jumped off the tape to me at Ohio State. Had a lot of talent around him. He's going to need to get stronger. He has, you hear me say this a lot about linemen, he has very short arms, so that's going to be a problem. He's not really a crazy aggressive pass rusher. He can do it, and he's good at it. It's just, you never see that. He tends to be one of those guys that cleans up sacks 4 seconds into a play. Mm-hmm. It's not, hey, I demolished my guy off the line. I got through him eventually. Quarterback held the ball too long, and that's where I got him. Good enough against the run. I do think this would be an immediate starter. Slide him in next to Grady Jarrett. But Atlanta had huge issues on the interior of their line last year. I think he can be that left defensive tackle next to Grady Jarrett. Opens things up. And down the line, I think he could be really good, but the short arms are going to be a problem.
At 150 overall in the 5th round, the Atlanta Falcons could take Nick Grant, the safety out of Virginia.
He's a fun evaluation for me. Virginia was absolutely god-awful, dreadful, bad defensively last year. Mm-hmm. They have 2 safeties that are going to get drafted in this class. Blunt and Joey Grant both will be drafted in this class. The grade on him, to me, is really going to depend on how he runs at the combine. The range I have on him is between a 4.5 and a 4.7. If he runs a 4.5, he won't be here in the 5th round. Mm-hmm. If he runs a 4.7, he might not get drafted at all. That is how fickle this class is and how fickle this safety class is. I'm higher on him than many. If you watch Virginia tape, he popped off the screen a lot. He just had a lot of bad around him. This is one of those kids, and I find about 50 of these every year, where there was nothing around you and it made you look bad at times. But if teams that really deep dive, I like Nick Grant a lot, and I think he can be a starting free safety in the NFL.
You want to contend for a championship? How about pick up a champion? In the 6th round, 188 overall, Zamir White, a running back out of Georgia. Zeus.
Well, the Cordero Patterson thing is you need to keep doing that. He should retire in Atlanta because he fits quite nicely in that scheme. Mm-hmm. Here's the problem. He's not really a running back. He does all of the pass catchery things very well, and he's better with just the ball in his hand than I could have ever imagined. You need a straight line thumper, and that's what Zamir White is. And he's pretty damn fast, too. I think I have him projected to run about a 4.45. Mm-hmm. Here's the bad thing about Zamir White. I said this last year about Chuba Hubbard, and it bore itself out time and time and time and time again. This kid could not block my wife. I don't know that he could block my computer. I think my computer would probably get to quarterbacks if he was the last line of defense. He is not a 3-down running back. This is a kid that can come in on first down, get you 3, 4, 5 yards in a cloud of dust, and away he goes, and in comes Cordero Patterson. He can be what you thought Mike White was going to be last year. You just don't need 2 pass-catching backs, and I think that really burned Atlanta last year. You need 3 yards. Yep. This is a kid that can get you 3 yards. Cordero Patterson and Mike Davis did not serve to be able to do that consistently last year. He would have a role immediately in Atlanta.
Number 211 overall, 6th-round pick here for the Atlanta Falcons, their last of the draft that they have right now anyway. Lecticus Smith, guard out of Virginia Tech.
He has a great name. It's one of the best names in this draft.
It's very smart sounding.
Lecticus. There are 2 teams in college football that have unbelievable talent on their offensive line that could not block a nosebleed last year, and I cannot for the life of me figure it out. LSU and Virginia Tech. I have 3+ draftable linemen off both of these teams. Both of them got quarterbacks killed last year. That's really hard for me to wrap my head around. And I think it's going to push him. There was some bad tape on Lecticus Smith. He's big, raw. Right off the jump, this is not a kid that you want to be playing high-level snaps, but he's a project. Mm-hmm. And Atlanta has invested so much in the offensive line that it's really hard for me to look at linemen and go, we're going to do this again. I can't for the life of me figure out why you would do that. You have to develop what you have. You can keep throwing darts at a wall all you want to. But now in the 6th round, taking a kid that's 6'3", 315, he projects as a guard to me. Quite a bully. But there is some bad tape. There's some form issues. There are some offense issues. Virginia Tech linemen, for whatever reason, always come in with a better ability to run block than they do anything else. I cannot figure out why that is, but it's the truth, and it's serving with Lecticus Smith as well.
Lots of attention to the defensive side of the ball in the bottom half of the draft. Get a lineman in there as well, and all the way at the top, you get a new weapon in Drake London, and Matt Corral, quarterback out of Ole Miss.
I genuinely think that's the best possible scenario for the Atlanta Falcons. You get the quarterback in the 2nd round. You don't have to invest high-level capital in him. I'm going to go ahead and tell you Matt Corral's going to go, even before the injury, he was going to go later than people think. Now, he falls into Atlanta right here. That's probably the best-case scenario for him. And you pair him with Drake London, who to me is without a doubt the number 1 receiver in this class. If you liked this mock draft, if you didn't, if there are players that you would like to know how I feel like they would fit with the Atlanta Falcons, feel free to leave those in the comments. I answer them on a daily basis. Somebody told me to get a haircut yesterday. I'm not going to do that. But, any draft questions you have, feel free to comment those. And I love interacting with fans. If there's somebody you would like to, even if you don't think they fit with the Falcons, you just want to know what I think about them, comment those as well.
And subscribe to the Sportsocracy here on YouTube, and you will get all of our team-by-team content throughout the Draftmas season, as this is only the first of our 7-round Jeremy's 7-round mock drafts. 2022 post-Senior Bowl 7-round mock draft in the books. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene, and we will see you next time.